Hey guys, it's Menace, back again for another Dragoborne unboxing video. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And let's get one started. Today we have the second trial deck in Dragoborne, and for me it's the last one unboxing because this one came a week later than the other ones. So, and when you're seeing this, it will be Wednesday, but this is the second trial deck. So, it is called Mystical Hunters, the first green trial deck. And in all honesty, this is one of what I thought was going to be my favorite green deck until what was it called, Nature's Wrath piqued my interest a lot more than I thought it would. So hopefully this deck is just as good, so I can still main it, even though the game's dead. But still, so our main nations for today are going to be the green one, who I don't remember the name of, yellow, which I also don't remember the name of, and blue, which I still don't remember the name of. I don't know why I thought I would remember that. And Mystical Hunters, trial deck number 2. A strategic deck that wins through planning, connecting many technical and useful ambush cards, outwit your opponent, and counterattack to attain victory. So probably, I wouldn't call this a comeback deck, but I would feel like a comeback deck would be the most appropriate for its title, because what I get from that feeling of that statement is you're meant to just do a bunch of setup, you're not meant to move at all, or like you can move, but you're not meant to like do a lot of erratic movements for no apparent reason. You do setup, you do small plays. In the later game, you go all out, show them that they underestimated you, and then you kind of just one-shot them from there. So, interesting. Let's go ahead and start unboxing. Like I said before, I want to try to keep all of these boxes, and hey, I did it. Okay, let me just try to pop this up without ruining it. Just, come on. Yeah, there we go. There's that one. And hey, I did it. Okay. And now the deck's stuck in there. So, first up, we have our little rule book here, which, now that I understand the rules of Dragoborne, oh my god, I almost hit something with that. How am I getting so good at just hand tossing one thing just without ease? I mean, without problems. I don't understand it anymore, but I've become really good at it. Okay, I already can see I'm about to break the playmat. Like, I've gotten used to deck unboxing to the point where I know when I'm about to break a playmat, when I don't want to break a playmat. So I'm being very careful. Okay, so we have our resource zone at the bottom, we have our creature zone in the middle, / fort, and then we have our ambush zones up here. And because of what they said about how like the ambush specifically in the deck, I'm assuming this deck's gonna have a lot of ambushes. And when we turn it over, we have this nice little part here with our main card over here, and with some nice little upgrade tips over here, followed by, in the direct middle, we have some description of the deck. So, Mystical Hunters. A skillful hunter does not simply leap forward without a plan. The best huntsmen are patient and careful, lest they engage a prey they cannot hope to take down. Analyze the target, prepare for all scenarios, only then can you lose yourself to the thrill of the hunt. Mystical Hunters encourages players to plan ahead and preempt the opponent's moves to create favorable situations for themselves. Once their options have been exhausted, you can move in for the kill. So, by the sounds of that somewhat sounds like a pseudo control deck, I guess, where you kind of just it's not a control deck in the sense where you don't let them play the game. It's the control deck in the sense where you allow them to make plays, but like these are plays you thought of ahead a long time ago, to the point where you're kind of prepared for them, and eventually they're going to run out of resources to do things, and then you win the game with that. That is honestly what that deck sounds like, and I cannot wait to actually see what it is. So we got our 3 dice right here. We got our blue dice, we got our green dice, and we got our yellow dice. Because it was the second trial deck, or since it was in the first 3 trial decks, unlike the last 2, which was Nature's Wrath and Reaper's Gift, I believe is what they were called. You don't have those special prismatic dice, but hey, the dice are still cool, and I really like getting the dice. And now onto our deck. That came out surprisingly easily. I don't know why I thought it was going to be stuck in there. So we got our nice little main unit right there, followed by me just sliding this out of the little thing. There we go. I don't remember if Bushwick still does this. I feel like they did, and I just don't remember, because I know I unboxed the Overdress decks recently, and I don't remember if they have this or not. So, let's go ahead and get this started. First up, we have our main creature, which is Menace, Hunter Adept. Cost of 6, attack of 6, and endurance of 6. Auto, when it is blocked, you may draw a card. And auto, yellow dragon cross, which means you need this yellow dice. So that's the interesting part about this deck, because I forgot to say, I'm pretty sure, like I'm 95% sure, this deck is meant to be a mixed deck. So, you know, this is one of the decks where you want to run multiple different colors in, maybe run those 3 different dice. So anyways, when it's yellow dragon cross, this creature deals damage to a fort. If you have 3 or less barriers, choose one of your forts and put the top card of your deck as a fort for that barrier. So, really nice, because it automatically means, like, if you've for some reason lost, like, if your opponent has attacked you a lot and you may have like 2 barriers left, or just 1, or maybe even 3 if you're really lucky, you can swing with this And if it does deal damage to a fort, if they for some reason take this, then you're able to just create a barrier. So all around, that's really nice. He can put you to 4 barriers, he can put you back to 3 barriers, he can put you to 2 barriers, he can put you to... He can't put you to 1, unless like they gave us a way to prevent us from dying when you're at 0 barriers, then yeah, this can make you 1 if they did, but otherwise, either way, it's really good. Definitely helps you stall for that defensive while you're waiting for your big plays to go off, while you're stalling for the combos that I don't know exist in this deck. So 2 copies, unfortunately, because we only get the 2 copies of the main card, but it's still good. It is actually really good. It's definitely one of my favorites because of that. Next up, we have an Axion, Herald of Armies. I don't know why I read that as Artemis. Cost of 5, attack of 4, endurance of 4. Continues, you may have up to 3 creatures at this creature's fort. Auto yellow dragon cross. When your dragon shield is destroyed, you may move this creature to another fort and stand it. Okay, automatically that's really good because that is an immediate rush attack. Like you can just swing with it. Your Dragon Shield dies during your opponent's turn when you're on the defense. Use this thing's skill. You can move it to that fort that was just broken with the Dragon Shield because otherwise they wouldn't have attacked into that fort. Stand this, and now you have an extra blocker at the ready. So all around, I like this card. It's really good because also, once more, it allows you to just have 3 creatures at this one fort. For some reason, they give us this in a Chao deck, which now makes me question what are in their booster sets, but that's all around really good because if you have multiple of these on the field, if you have 1 in each fort, that's a total of 9 creatures. So around, I really like this, and we only get 2 of it. I don't know why I expected 4. I don't know why I had the hope of 4, but either way, it's still really good. Next up, we have Elegant Fencer. Cost of 1, attack of 1, endurance of 1. Auto when this creature attacks, destroys a Dragon Shield, draw a card. Okay, pretty low stats. I don't really expect this thing to like kill a Drago Shield unless it's a roll of 1, but at that point you might as well just Drago Cross with it. So that is an interesting thing. I mean, unless you buff it up, and Nature's Wrath does give a lot of support to Elf decks, and this happens to be in Elf, so you can combo with that. Otherwise, I say it's an okay card. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'm not going to say it's the worst. We got 2 copies of it. Can we just shift these 2 copies over to Axion over there? Because I would like to have Axion. I mean, Axion would probably be better at 3, but still. Next up, we have Earthen Guard Golem. Cost of 3, attack of 1, endurance of 5, ambush 2. There's the first ambush. Auto, when this fort is attacked, if this card is an ambush, you may summon this creature. So, pretty much, standard ambush thing. Most of the Chao deck cards have that same ambush where you just, you pay the 2, you place it face down. If the fort is attacked, you can play it. Every Chao deck has like 1 ambush with that ability, I believe. Maybe one of them doesn't, and I'm just over-exaggerating, but I'm pretty sure all of them have at least one that does this. Except for maybe Reaper's Gift and Nature's Wrath. Those are the things I expect not to have it. And then they all have their own select fort burst. I mean, not fort burst, ambush. So either way, or it could also be a fort burst. So I really like this card. It's a 4 of, unfortunately. I say that unfortunately because it's like a vanilla card to my mind because all the decks have it. But even then, like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that it feels like a vanilla card to me because it also has the 5 defense, right? Yeah, it has the 5 endurance, so that's really good. Now we have a vanilla and, not a vanilla. Why did I read that as not having a skill? Logris Swiftblade. That's the yellow nation, Logris. Cost of 2, attack of 3, endurance of 1. Continuous, this creature cannot be blocked by creatures with 1 or less attack. Do they have a way to minus attack now? Because now if they think about it, this could be really good if they made a card that just says you can minus attack. And then you can just call down 3 of these. I mean, set up minus their power. Call 3 of these down. And then you can immediately do 3 attacks that can only be stopped by Drago Shields. So, that's interesting. That's really interesting. It does really well against like the low fort ones. Like if it's in the late game and you've killed all their big creatures and now they're only left with small creatures, this definitely takes the cake because if all those small creatures have 1 attack, then he can easily wipe them out. 4 of. Definitely makes sense. Like this is a deck that I kind of have to make sure that I'm not just going off with the bias of power stacking because I do choose to. Most of the time I choose power stacking over actual strategy. Not because I don't like strategies, because I'm not one to follow a strategy when I'm told to, whether I force myself to do it or not. So I honestly normally go for the power decks. That's actually an interesting card though for just a strategy-based deck. So next up we have Sunscale Ascestic. I know how to say that. I know I do, but I've seen this before. I have read that correctly before. I don't know why I can't do it now. Cost of 2, attack of 2, endurance of 2. Auto when this creature is summoned, you may choose a cost 5 or greater creature and rust it. So you can do it to your field if you really want to, but once more, setup thing. If they've like attacked with, because say they're at the last fort. I mean, say they're at the last fort and they have 2 barriers. Well, if they probably have saved a big creature on that fort to defend it guaranteedly, call this Just get rid of it. Or like, even if it's not in that scenario, they just have a big creature defending a fort that you need to kill then, just play this. Like, it just stops it entirely. So all around, really nice. Oh, this one you get a 4 of, but not the 2 cards that are foiled. I see. Why is it everything that we have... You know, I've realized Bushy's powder now. I understand it. Anything that's a foil is only at 2. Or at least that was 2017 Bushy's idea. Anything that had a foil, it was at 2. But then everything that wasn't a foil was more or less at 4. I mean, some of them were obviously at 2. Maybe... If we go to Buddy Fight, one of them was at 1, but still. Next up, we have Guardian of the Forest, which is our green creature. Cost of 3, 0 attack, 5 endurance. Auto, when damage is dealt to your fort, stand this creature. It's a once per turn ability. So really nice. It acts as an extra defender when you need it to, if the fort that it's on takes damage, or any fort takes damage. And auto, yellow Dragon Cross. So once more, this yellow does. Why is everything doing a yellow Dragon Cross? I haven't seen a single card yet that does blue or green. When this creature blocks, draw a card. So, you know, it's meant to be the defender, which is why it has that 5 endurance. Really easy to call because it's only cost of 3. It has 0 attack, so it's not going to kill anything. But, hey, it's a really nice defensive card because he can get 2 defensives out. Unfortunately, he's not at 4, and he doesn't even have a foil for it, which is very unfortunate, but I still like him. I would probably buy the trial deck again just to get him at 4 copies. I mean, not just him, but, like, this and, Axion, the Herald of Armies. I would definitely do it just to get all of them at 4. But it's still worth it regardless. Next up, we have an actual foil. Oh, so this foil we get 4 of. Bushy, make up your goddamn mind. Who's getting the 4s and who's not? Kingslayer B. Cost of 3, endurance of 2, and attack of 3. Ambush 2. Okay, so we have a unique ambush now. Auto. When this fort is attacked, if this card is an ambush, you may summon this creature, choose an opposing creature, and rest it. So, pretty much, they swing into your fort, you play this, and then you can rest in another creature to lower down their attack, and then you can block with this if you want to. It's probably going to die, but hey, it does something. It gets you an extra defense. We got 4 of it, so it's really nice getting more ambushes, especially because I might mix these decks later, and having the more ambushes, the merrier, especially because green has the most. Next up, we have... Give me a sec. I don't know why I just choked. Prime Ape Javeler. Attack of 5, endurance of 4, cost of 4. Have I seen this somewhere? I swear it's in one of the other decks. Is it in Nature's Wrath? It's either in Nature's Wrath or Alpha Dominance. I know it's one of those 2 that has this. I just don't remember which one. But either way, all around, it's decently nice. I don't know why I think Alpha Dominance... Does Alpha Dominance... Yeah, Alpha Dominance does have a fucking green deck, because I know it. I know they do, because the one cost 1 I spam like hell. Yeah, I know they have one. Either way, this is an interesting thing. It's a vanilla, guaranteed, but like, hey, it has numbers, so it's fine. So 2 copies. I mean, this is probably the thing you try to discard, a thing you want to see in your forts as barriers, but it's still good. Next up, we have Tango Wood Menace. Cost of 2, attack of 2, endurance of 3. Still vanilla, but it's a lower cost. It does have less stats than the previous one, but it's easier to summon, and this deck kind of wants to use up all of its resources on support or like stall cards or just combo cards for the later. You don't remember it's a setup deck, so that's probably how you want to do it. So it's better to have that over the Primate Javelier, because while he does act as a stall card in terms of attacks, he doesn't act as a stall card in terms of cost, because you're using more to summon him. Next up, we have Ambushing Tide Chaser. Cost of 1, attack of 1, endurance of 1, auto. When this creature attacks, all ambushes have no effect for this battle. So he can just nullify ambushes. He can just straight up nullify ambushes. Okay. Sure. 2 copies. Not even. Just not even gonna question it. The Keeper. Cost of 2, endurance of 5, cost of 4, endurance of 5, attack of 2. Auto, when this creature blocks, choose an opposing creature with X or less attack, and rest it where X is this creature's endurance. So at the time, basically, so like if they don't damage to its endurance before, then it's whatever its current endurance is. But for right now, when it just swings on its own, it's -5, or like, so 5 or less. So honestly, that's really good, because it's just a way to like get rid of pesky creatures. All around, yeah, this definitely is a go for the kill deck. Like, you can use this in a rushed version if you really tried hard enough, but you would definitely lose the resources and put yourself at risk of counterattack. So I definitely say this is one of the decks you want to definitely stall for. Like I said, you could do the rush version, but I feel like that would put you at more of a counterattack range than the opponent does. Next up, we have another vanilla. The Ripper. Cost of 3, attack of 4, endurance of 3. Okay, I want to let it be clear now, and the people that know about this will somewhat understand it, but like, Thera, the card game that I'm hoping developed, we named one of the cards the Ripper, like word for word. Now, I didn't know that this was a card until now, or I knew it was a card, but like, I knew it last week, and I made the Ripper long ago. I made the Ripper like months ago, so But she beat us to the punch, but difference is our Ripper has an effect. This is a vanilla. I know that's a lot of things to go off of, but still. Either way, it's really nice. It does... you know what, now that I think about it, look at the background. It feels like... Is it meant to be Woman Jack the Ripper? What's a girl name? Mary the Ripper. Is this meant to be Mary the Ripper? Is it? There's 4 of them. You know, from now on, I'm making my life's mission to whenever I play this deck, I gotta kill them with Mary. I don't care. Some way, somehow, I'm gonna kill them with Mary. I don't care how long I have to stall for it. Next up, we have Frontier Explorer. Cost of 1, attack of 1, endurance of 2. Another vanilla. I expected more ambushes, honestly. I really did. Also, now that I think about it, have we seen any spells? I'm checking now, because we haven't. We have seen no spells, just creatures, just straight up creatures. Okay. We have 2. Okay, I see a spell. Well, it's an ambush, but I still see something. Next up, we have Hidden Arts, Water Edge Shuriken. Speaking of which, there's an actual spell. Cost of 2. All your creatures get Assassin. All creatures for this turn. Those creatures may attack opposing creatures and rest. The attack cannot be blocked by Draco shields or creatures. So you can just swing into a creature. If something big and pesky, like say there's something a box creature and it's gonna kill you next turn. Well, if you can kill it, then just use this. If it's rested, then they can't block with it, so it's hard to kill it. But then, if you just use this, 1, they can't block it in general now, and then 2, you can just swing into it. So all around, really nice. I like this card. Definitely helps set up. 2 copies, of course. It's at 2 copies. Why do I keep expecting these to be at 4 when I know they're not? Next up, we have another ambush. I think this has the deck that has the most ambush, because I think all the other ones have 2. This one has 3. EMP. I forgot what that stands for. Electromagnetic Pulse, I think. Is that what an EMP stands for? I'm pretty sure that is. I played it enough deeper to understand more or less what an EMP is. Ambush, auto, when this fort is attacked, if this card's an ambush, you may choose a fort and rest all creatures on that fort, put this card into this card pile afterwards. So, straight up just, they attack into it, and say they have 2 other forts that can attack, you have 2 barriers on your fort and you have 2 blocking creatures. Well, they swing. Okay, play this. Rest one of the other forts that has the most creatures on it. You take this, so now you're at 1. They only have 3 attacks now, and you might be able to stop them without it. So all around, 2 copies. Honestly, really nice. It's really good. Definitely adds for those support plays if you get into the back corner enough. Next up, we have Dismantle. Cost of 3. Choose a creature, rest it, and draw a card. I was wondering when we were going to get a Fort Burst. Fort Burst, put this card in the discard pile and draw 2 cards. So either you rest an opponent's creature, or anyone's creature really, and draw a card, or you could just draw 2 cards if you use this as a Fort Burst. So, worst case scenario, you're drawing 2 cards, and I think that's best case scenario, right? Because, I could definitely see it. They have a lot of rest effects. They definitely have, a lot of rest effects. I gotta say, this deck is very interesting with that. We got 4 of that one. Yeah, another foil that's at 4. I'm not gonna complain about that one, because I'm actually glad about it, but why do some of these foils not get 4s? Next up, we have 2 copies of Hidden Arts Reverse Thunderstrike. When they say arts, for some reason I think of ninjas. Maybe that's just because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has the ninja thing and they all have ninja art something of something. But these are samurais. These aren't ninjas. And the other one was just a man. Anyways, another ambush. Okay, I know I talked shit about the ambushes, but why are we getting more now? Auto, when this fort is attacked, if this card is an ambush, you may stand all creatures on the fort and draw a card. So, more defensive power. Okay then. Now, if only this worked during both players' turns, because if it did, this would be extremely good. It would generally be a one-shot and probably hit the ban list really quickly, or hit the limited list or something, but still really good. 2 copies. And finally, we have our... Oh, I forgot about the promo. How did I forget about the promo? I saw 4 cards, and I was wondering what the hell the 4th one was. Merchant of Scrolls, cost of 2, attack of 2, endurance of 2, auto, when this creature attacks, discard a card. Draw a card, then if you discarded a spell and it's yellow Draco Cross, you draw another card. So pretty much, yellow Draco Cross it, swing, discard something, draw 2. All around, really nice. And then we have our 3 banners, which go as the following. Shield of Logress, Rune Mark of Tir Na Nog, and Insignia of Olis. So all around, we got a yellow, we got a green, and we got a blue. This honestly makes sense. This is the trial deck that has the most sense, because Wait, let me just make sure. Let me make sure that the red one doesn't have this. I'm confirming. Okay, yes. Yeah, this is the trial deck that has the most sense. Because blue, at this point in time, before spoilers that blue turned bad, blue was the supporter of each side of the war, regardless of who they were. Green was the side of good, and Logress teamed up with them. This is the only trial deck that, according to the small images that we saw, maybe Oath of Blood has it too, but either way, this and maybe that trial deck are the only ones that have the canonical, I guess, teammates, because they all shared in the right place. I mean, they are all on alliances with each other, so that's the part that I'm trying to get at. So all around, I hope you guys enjoyed. This seems like a fun deck. You got a lot of combo plays. Probably not my type of deck, because it is a lot of combo play based. I'm not saying I'm not good at combo plays. I'm just I find combos very boring. I do like some combo based decks like Malkuth Melki from Vanguard, but otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to pick up this deck for no apparent reason, just to play with your friends, this is definitely a good combo based deck to pick up, and they do have a lot of support cards. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one.